This is the Milo Sweet Podcast, where you'll learn to get unstuck. Start now. Conquer life's challenges by learning to do difficult. Find quick and clever ways to overcome. Wait, did you think life was going to be easy? Remember, all of your excuses are now dead to me. Let's get started. Guess what time it is? It's time for you to hit the subscribe button and find just 1% that you think will benefit from this. But if you're feeling a little generous, right? Or you're super free with your time right now, probably doing nothing because you're listening to this. Well, maybe if you're doing something, actually just make yourself free right now. Hit subscribe. What are you waiting for? Hit it. Come on. Hit subscribe. To the Milo Sweet Podcast. Woo woo!
Woo! Thank you, Milo. I'm glad to be here.
Okay, can you reintroduce yourself in case someone is listening to you for the first time? Who are you?
You betcha. So my name is Laura Morgan. As you said a little bit earlier, I am a mom of 3. I've been homeschooling for about a year now, and I've been a mom for about 13 years. As I've been a mom, I've really taken some time to be deliberate and intentional about the way that I parent. So my husband and I are both researchers. We're both learners. So we love to read and learn and then apply the things that we've learned. So in the process, I thought, I really want to share this with other people. I really want to be someone who can influence others for good and also help people fast forward a little bit, because it takes a lot of time to read all this information, analyze it, process it, and then apply it. So I would love to be the fast forward button for people and be able to help them understand some of these principles that we've learned and applied.
That's wonderful. Now we're going to pivot just a little bit because I find this interesting. Is before you started homeschooling, were you always researching? And then what were you doing before that?
Okay, so before homeschooling, I did do a lot of research about parenting in general, education in general. I've had children who have various, challenges and issues. They're not anything crazy extreme, but they're things that, hey, I want to have an expert opinion on this. I need to have help. So there's been research along the way. I've attended lots of workshops. I've attended lectures and webinars just about how to develop as a parent, being a better leader in my home. So yes, I have done that for a long time, basically since the beginning. And part of it, some of it's out of desperation, like, oh my gosh, I don't know what I'm doing. And part of it's just, I really need to be better at certain things. So that's that aspect. And then before I was homeschooling, I've taught group fitness classes. I've helped marketing for baby food. So I've kind of had a wide variety of experiences, and then stayed at home with my children and taught them. We've done preschool groups and then being home with kids as a mom is a big part of what my life has been.
Oh, that sounds wonderful. So I just thought of something, and you can just say no on air, but have you ever thought about applying the research that you're learning and creating a workout around that, like a family workout where that principle could be taught? And because I realized for me, so I'm going to get to that's the question, but I'm going to explain my thought from the question is I literally take principles and I find that in implementing them in my house, for some reason, a workout has somehow a workout ends up being included in it. I don't understand it.
Sure.
And I just kind of was thinking that this morning. I was like, man, I've been trying to teach my kids this, and as soon as we went running, they got it. Why was that? And then I looked back and I was like, oh, that's how it's always happened. Why is that? I'm like, maybe physically you have to get involved to connect with the principal. I don't know. But what are your thoughts on that? Because you kind of have, I'm not qualified to teach someone fitness in that way, but I feel like you have kind of the best of both worlds, like the mental and the body,
Oh, I love that, Mila. I think that's so cool that your family, you've experienced that and then also took the time to connect it. I think that's really awesome. Okay, so I would say that the reason that's happening from my perspective is because when you are exercising, your brain and its neural pathways tend to be more active. Also, you are increasing some of those positive hormones that work in your body, some endorphins and also dopamine. And all of those help reinforce some things that you're thinking about, whether they are conversations you're having currently, or they are conversations you've had previously, or things you've been thinking about. So think about, a lot of people say running is their therapy or their thinking time. And there's a reason for that. There's actually like a physiological, when you exercise, your brain, for lack of a better word, opens up. It kind of connects in a way that you wouldn't necessarily be doing if you were occupied by reading or even just sitting at home and talking with your children. But getting physically moving basically opens up the brain and makes it more just plastic, I guess, to help your lessons stick and to help things flow. So I would say there's an actual physiological thing that happens. Also, it just makes us happier and more receptive when we exercise, and that's due to those hormones. So you're going to be more open to those things that, as a parent, you're teaching your children. Oh my gosh, we have the best conversations when we're hiking or when we're running or just along those lines, because you just feel more open, more vulnerable. I would say that's a great idea. I would love to do something like that. I'm trying to think about what that format would look like, but yes, I think that's a great,
like
I haven't thought of it, but it's a great idea.
Like maybe it's like team building. You ever, for corporate America or your job, they have you do a physical activity, and then they're like, what's your disc? And what does your blah, blah, blah say about your personality? How can we stop arguing as a team and get things done? So it's like, I think it's like that. And it could just be maybe a workout connected to opening you up to the principal. I like that idea. And I never, ever thought about this because when I first started homeschooling, I would freak out because I needed to get out the house. Like, I'm wired that way.
Yes.
So I'm like, okay, I just need to get out for like a quick walk. So I would make up things to buy from Fred Meyer and I would walk. So I was like, I think I need hot sauce for breakfast. Yep, right now. And 7 a.m. Yep, I need it right now. And then I noticed my daughter, when she grew out of the stroller, she would just walk with me. And then I'm reflecting this now, I don't think I ever picked up on this until like just right now, is that until then she would walk with me, and then it was a huge difference between us attacking the material before the walk with no walk. And I would say the last 2 years I implemented where maybe when I was pregnant, when I got pregnant with Isaiah, so that was 3 years ago, I would make us go for a morning walk or a morning workout or a run or whatever, right?
Yep.
And then we would get into homeschool. And I didn't realize till now, I'm like, maybe that was actually what made it easier, because we still do that now.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I just thought about that. So I don't know if you could incorporate some kind of workout with your learning, because that would be fascinating for me to actually see how someone connects those two that has both of those skills. I accidentally connected it, for my kids. And it was mostly because I started realizing, where else are we going to get the workout in? I'm like, at the end of the day, I'm exhausted. I don't want to do it now.
Exactly.
I don't want to do it then.
Yeah, totally. No, I think that's a fantastic idea. And I think that would be really fun to think about. Okay, this is something we're learning about today. Let's talk about it a little bit. We'll do a few moves and we'll talk about it a little bit. I think it's great. It's a great idea.
Well, and you're qualified for both. So you let me know when you have like your membership program or something and you come back on and we can talk about it. Because that would I think I accidentally find things. I would love to see what they're like when they're actually the right thing planned out.
But don't you think some of the best learning happens unintentionally, where it's like, oh my gosh, this is something I'm all of a sudden thinking about and it makes sense to me. And oh, I've been doing this and now I understand that, oh, this makes sense. This is a really good idea. I think some of those accidents are really wonderful. I think it's great. So I
Well,
would,
yeah, and I didn't realize it until I'm like, I took away, I think like when Corona happened, I took away, I think like 2 or 3 days. I was like, well, we don't have to work out in the morning. It's Coronation, right?
right.
And then everything fell apart.
Yeah.
I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
So I'm starting to see it's not, well, you're teaching me that it's more than just that. So, but it's been a habit for 3 years. So I didn't, it's not like it fell apart. Like I can't put it back together.
Right,
but
right.
thought like, well, what's the big deal? Let's just adjust to this and hang out with each other. And no,
yeah,
we need to work out.
Yeah. And we have found the very same thing. It's a very vital part of our day. Before we do any sort of schooling or anything like that, we definitely have to move our bodies. And it is so healthy. It's so helpful. Yes, 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 and yes. I totally agree. It's really good.
All right, that's another episode in the books. Hello? Hello? I said it's over. Why are you still listening? Like, seriously, the episode is over. If you're still listening right now, you know what? You're probably a chronic procrastinator. Guess what? I'm still listening too. Come on, for real, seriously. We gotta go do something productive. No, like for real. No, for real, for real. Okay, you can keep listening.